Hi everyone, I'm back with the same problem that we had earlier, 4,232 times 47. This time I'm going to use the area model. Now this area model has a couple names the kids call it. They call it magic box, they call it the box method. It does include a box. Whatever they want to call it is fine as long as they understand the concept. This one will seem a little bit more tedious. There are some extra steps, and if you have no problem with standard algorithm, it may seem unnecessary. I know that it felt that way to me. I would say, oh, this must be that Common Core math. I don't know what this is. This is crazy. But I can tell you that there are many of our students that whenever the numbers are broken apart in this way, are really starting to understand how to manipulate the numbers and get the answer correct successfully. And it makes sense for their brain. And since our goal is for them to understand, see if they can just walk you through it. If this is the method they like, please let them show you this, because I would much rather them use the area model and be successful and realize that they are very capable of math than to continue to work with a method that has not been successful for their mind and to end up feeling like this is not something they can do. All of our students are very capable. So if this is the method that they prefer, I say, hey, go for it. So whenever we are doing an area model, we have to break our number into expanded form. So in breaking it into expanded form, we are first going to draw a box. Now, if you look, let me give myself a little bit more space. I'm gonna need just a little bit more space here. Sorry. I am gonna draw a box, and I am gonna make it 4 by 2. I'm gonna make this box 4 by 2. So the reason why I'm doing this is because I have 4 digits and 2 digits. Okay? Now, when we break our number into expanded form, you may have learned that that means 4,000 plus 200 plus 30 plus 2. And that is correct. The way that I have the students do this is I have them just say the number out loud or to say it in their mind. So when we say this number, we say 4,232. So I have them write it down like that. 4,232. Some of our friends like to put the plus signs in between it. It is not necessary, but they can if that's what works for them. I try to have the least amount of steps because, kids already don't typically like showing their work. So I try not to add anything unnecessary they don't need. Same thing here, 47. So right here I write a 40, and right here I write a 7. Okay? Just like with their standard algorithm, I recommend that they go ahead and choose the one like there's only 2 numbers here. I have them go ahead and skip count it out if they are not already solid with their multiplication tables. Now, if they can easily do their multiplication tables by 4s, they wouldn't need to write these 4s. If they know that 7 is a struggle, that they cannot just quickly say it, sing it, however they've learned, we go ahead and write it out. Do the work once. Okay, use the repeated addition if needed, however works for them. Now in the area model, you may think that you're ending up multiplying some very big numbers, but we make it a little simpler than that. They're going to go through and they are only going to look at their base number here. So in 40, we're only going to look at that 4, and in 4,000, we're also just going to look at the 4, and we are simply going to solve that first. 4 times 4. So I use that over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I get 16. I'm going to write the 16 in the box. Now I am just going to count zeros, and there are 3 zeros here and 1 here, so 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. I'm going to put the 4 zeros there. Okay, 4 times 2 is 8. 1, 2, 3 zeros. 4 times 3 is 12. 1, 2 zeros. 4 times 2 is 8, and only 1 0. It's important that you go ahead and you solve for your base first and then count zeros, because sometimes, let's just say this was 5,000, that 4 and 5 together would be 20. Then you would be adding zeros. They may get confused and think, well, I don't have enough zeros, or I have too many zeros. So they write the base answer down first and then add zeros later. So that 0 would already be on there and would not be included in their count. Okay, so now we do this. We have 7 times 4. I can use this off the side. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to get 28. 1, 2, 3 zeros. There's no zeros here to count. 7 times 2 is 14. 2 zeros. 7 times 3 is 21. Only 1 0. 7 times 2 is 14. Now here's where it gets a little tedious, and this is where they may run into some complications, but if they are stronger in addition, this is still a better method for them. So they would need to go through and add all of these numbers that are within the boxes. Okay? So I tried to put them where it's like the largest number to the smallest, just because it helps with them it's easier to line it up and stay neat. If you know that your child is struggling with penmanship or they're having issue lining up things, graph paper is excellent for that. The wider graph paper, so they put a number in each, similar to what they make us do nowadays with some of those like doctor's forms, that they have a letter in each box. They would be able to do that same thing with their numbers to keep things lined up. So it's going to be kind of small because I don't have a lot of space on my board, but I'm going to write these down. That's this number. Now 8,000, it'd be tempting for the kids to start here. Okay, and we know that that's not going to be 8,000. That's going to end up, if we started here, what our kids like to do is they put that there, realize it's wrong, and they just throw in some extra zeros. That's not correct. That's 800,000. So be very careful. If they do not see to only put the 4 digits here, have them start backwards. 0, 0, 0, 8. Okay, that works well too. And they will stay in line. Here I am again, 0, 0, 0, 8, 2. And you see, I do not like this. For my brain, I do not like how these numbers are skipping around. They are driving me crazy. And it is much harder for me to line up. I would go and put them in order. The kids typically don't do that. So I'm not even really going to try to force them to do that at this point. And I'm already running out of room, and I wish there was some additional room here. So I'm going to try to go ahead and solve it under here, which is going to be a little annoying. I may even flip it. Well, we'll go ahead and try. So this right here, we know that when we add this together, it is 4. So I'm going to put a 4 right here. We're going to over 8, 9, 10. We're going to put our 0, and now we're going to have to carry our 1. 1, 2, 3, plus 4 is 7, plus 2 is 9. Nothing to carry this time. So I have done the first 3. Then I go here. 8 plus 1 is 9. Plus 8 is 17, plus 1 is 18. 8, carry my 1. 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 2 is 9. So I'm going to put a 9. And then I have just the 1 all by itself. And again, I have 1,098. No, I'm so sorry. I have 198,904. Wow, y'all, you could tell it's a Saturday and I'm struggling right now. 198,904. See, this method, by the time I get done with it, I am just tired. There's just so much to do. And so, like I said, I can see why you may tell your child, wow, there's an easier way to do this. And yes, there is an easier way that is quicker. But if they don't understand that, if it doesn't work, this is still the better method. So at that point, we just want something that they feel successful with. Okay, and again, I'm sorry I had to put this over here. That is not ideal. But if you have any other questions on this method known as the area model or magic box, just let me know. Next will be lattice multiplication.